All right, my friends, I am going to be making a video for you today on how I make my meatballs. You can make meatballs or meatloaf. This is just a video I am making for a friend slash neighbor. If this is not a video that you would like to see, I just ask that you stick around, hit the subscribe button, just find a video you like and click on that one. Haul videos will be back. Again, I am trying to make all my viewers happy, so let's make some meatballs. All right, so this works for meatballs or meatloaf, whatever you wish to make. And I am going to try to get you guys all set up here so you can see what I am putting in my bowl. All right, YouTube friends, so I am going to be using the ground beef that I picked up in that Aldi haul this past week. So I'm gonna cut it open. And if you have a KitchenAid mixer, this is the best thing to mix it in. If you don't, you can get dirty with your hands. But if I do it this way, as you see, I don't have to take my rings off. So I'm gonna put my ground beef in the bowl just because it makes it easier. And I'm getting this ready in advance. You can even make these and freeze them. If you don't wanna do, like I said, the meatballs, you can also do the meatloaf. So let me toss this, and I gotta wash my hands. Okay, you guys are probably, as you know, because if you've stuck around very long, you're going to hear my dogs complaining. You're gonna hear me opening up a Pepsi because this is life. It is not your average cooking show. All right, so I got my meat here. I'm gonna go ahead and crack 2 eggs in my bowl. And then I am going to chop up some onion. Now, if you want to use dried onion, onion flakes, or if you don't like onion and you just want to skip it, that is totally up to you. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of this or not. And this is not my typical knife. I'm going to try to not kill myself. Now we like onion. Again, if you guys don't like onion, you may not even want to put it. You can also use minced onion if you don't have time to make or have this just normal onion. And this is just, again, the onions that I buy at Aldi. So I have about a half a cup, and I'm gonna add that to my bowl right there. All right. Now, the only difference in my meatballs slash meatloaf and my mother-in-law's meatballs meatloaf, and she is the little Italian woman that does live in Italy, is instead of crackers or breadcrumbs, she actually uses bread, because the Italian bread, that really hard Italian bread, soaked in milk. That is what she uses for breadcrumbs. So I still use crackers. Now you can put inside either ketchup, you can put tomato paste, you can put tomato sauce. Mattia had made some pasta and I have this left. There's not a whole lot in here, so I'll probably still use some ketchup. Let's see. So, yeah, no, this is good. So this is what I am going to use in mine. I'm just going to use this leftover, it's basically tomato sauce. Now, what this will have me do is I'll just season it up a little bit more. Again, this is your creation. Do what you want. I'm going to add a little bit of parsley that I had left, and then I opened a new one. And I have some onion powder. Don't be afraid of your spices. This is not salt, it's just powder. I have granulated garlic. Now keep in mind, I'm seasoning about 1.5 to almost 2 pounds. And then I use the garlic salt. And then I'm going to use just a little bit of salt and some pepper. And I think my pepper is just about gone. It is. All right, now you know if you've watched me very long that I clean up as I go. It drives me absolutely crazy not to, so I will be putting these things away. All right, so I got my meat in there. I'm just gonna push this down a little bit. I'm not sure if you guys follow me on Instagram. If you did, or on Facebook, they're listed on the bottom. But Aldi has their own version of KitchenAid, Aldi USA, and they posted it on their page. So I'm wondering how it's gonna work out. Now I can already tell this doesn't have enough moisture in it for me. So I'm just gonna add some more ketchup, and this is a freaking mess. I'm gonna mix this up. I just kind of hit it a little bit with the blending paddle, and I just kind of see how it's going. In my opinion, as long as the meat is somewhat sticking together, you're not going to get too crazy with this. It's not going to make it horrible. So I want it to come together just a little bit more than what it is. And it feels wet enough. So I'm going to get out some of my homemade breadcrumbs. Now these are breadcrumbs that I have just made myself from our stale bread. And I just keep those in the freezer. So when our bread gets stale, I just kind of put it in the freezer. All right. All right, so I'm just seeing what this feels like. So if you see, it's starting to stick together, but it'll be moist enough that it won't fall all apart. Now, there's many ways you can do meatballs. You can fry them in advance, whatever you want to do. I do not do that. I'm going to hit this just a little bit more. I just cook mine in the oven until they're really super brown. All right. I always smell and see if it smells seasoned, and it does. So I'm going to take you over and we're going to get these put in a pan. All right, so I have my meat mixture. I put some parchment paper in a pan. I've sprayed it with some nonstick spray. I have all of the meat over here. Now, like I said, you don't have to have parchment paper. You don't have to have a 913 pan. It's however you want to do your meatloaf or meatballs. Some people want it in a loaf pan. I do not. I typically just put it in a pan like this one, or in just whatever I want. Now, as I'm rolling these out, if it appears like I'm gonna have way too many, I can go ahead and freeze these as they are and use them again, or I can cook them and freeze them. Very versatile. Again, you can use these any way. You can make a spaghetti sauce or a homemade sauce to put these in. Hey friends, so this is what I had. I have a 9x13 full of meatballs. Here's my hand. I make them rather big. It's just how we like them. I typically do meatballs instead of meatloaf because everybody wants my sauce coated on their own portion. And as you know, in meatloaf, when you start cutting it, it doesn't end up that way. I did have enough. This is what I had left over. This is one of those mini loaf pans. I'm gonna take this one to my neighbors. So I put this one in here. I just double tinned it. And now I will put my sauce on top. How I do my sauce, I have about, let's see, there's probably 1.5 cups to 2 cups of ketchup. I will put a little bit of this Worcestershire, yeah, you know, that stuff. I just put a little bit in there. I put a few shakes of pepper, just black pepper, and And then I put quite a bit of brown sugar. So let me get that in there. This is a 1/4 cup. All right, and then I'm doing about half of another 1/4. Again, this isn't any type of famous cooking show. And then I am just going to stir this up. Now I know the consistency that I like my sauce. This does not make anything extra super sweet. It will make the sauce get really brown and bubbly and kind of crystallized. So I have about a half a cup is what it will end up being of brown sugar. And then it just has a little bit of salty and sweet in there. All right, so that's pretty good and mixed. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna spoon this over, and then I'm gonna actually put mine in the fridge because I have to get Mattia really quick and I'm gonna be late. So I'm gonna spoon this over, and then I will bake these when I get home. Now, again, if you don't want this kind of sauce, go ahead and put them in the oven. Bake them however you want. Fry them. It doesn't really matter. It's not necessary to fry them. They will get really brown. And then you can either put them in your sauce, whatever you want to do. If you want garlic bread and you want to make a meatball sub, if you want to do it this way and then make mashed potatoes and gravy to go with it. I think these are really easy to transport when Andrea wants to take them to work. Just gonna mash up some more sugar. But I promise it will not be over sweet. And that is how they look. All right, guys, and here they are all done. They're all brown. You could go ahead and freeze them like this as well. And they make great sandwiches. Let me know if you give them a try. Thanks for watching.